Lady Be Good is a USAAF B-24D Liberator that disappeared without a trace on its first combat mission during World War II. The plane, which was from 376th Bomb Group, was believed to have been lost with its 9-man crew in the Mediterranean Sea while returning to its base in Libya following a bombing raid on Naples on April 4, 1943. After continuing to fly south into the desert for many hours, the crew bailed out when the plane's fuel ran out. All but one of the crew's remains were recovered between February and August 1960. The wreckage of the Lady Be Good was taken to a Libyan Air Force base after being removed from the crash site in August 1994. In 1943, the Lady Be Good was a new Liberator bomber that had just been assigned to the 514th Bomb Squadron on March 25. Its given name, Lady Be Good, was hand-painted on the starboard, front side of the forward fuselage. The Lady Be Good crew were also new as they had only arrived in Libya a week before on March 18. A first wave of 12 B-24s would be followed by a second wave of 13 planes, including the Lady Be Good. The Lady Be Good, which was one of the last planes of the second wave to depart, took off from Solach Field near Benghazi at 2:15 p.m. It joined the formation and continued on to Naples. When the Lady Be Good arrived over Naples at 7:50 p.m. at 7,600 meters, poor visibility was obscuring the primary target. Lady Be Good flew back alone from Italy on its return trip to its home base in Libya. The crew apparently overflew their base, failing to see the flares fired to attract their attention. At 2 a.m., as fuel became critically low, the crew parachuted to the ground. The abandoned Lady Be Good flew a further 26 kilometers before it crash-landed into the Calancio Sand Sea. Largely because it was believed that the aircraft had probably crashed at sea, a subsequent search and rescue mission from Solach Air Base failed to find any trace of the aircraft or its crew. The disappearance of the Lady Be Good became a mystery. After the crew abandoned the aircraft, it continued flying southward. This followed up the first sighting from the air on May 16, 1958, by the crew of a Silver City Airways Dakota, piloted by Captain Alan Frost, and another flight on June 15. The logbook of the Navigator's second LTDP, Deep Haze, which was still on board, made no mention of the aircraft's movements after the crew commenced their return leg from Naples. In February 1960, the United States Army conducted a formal search of the area for the remains of the crew. The team concluded that other bodies were likely buried beneath sand dunes after finding evidence that at least 3 of the surviving crew members had continued walking northward. Another British petroleum oil exploration crew discovered the remains of 2nd Lieutenant John S. Worovka in August 1960. As they were unaware that any Allied air crews were missing in the area, the human remains were recorded but then buried without further investigation. One crew member, Worovka, did not rendezvous with the others. A diary, recovered from the pocket of co-pilot Robert Toner, recorded the crew's suffering on the walk northward. The crew members who survived the descent had died while walking northward, because they believed they were fairly close to the Mediterranean coast. The navigator on the Lady Be Good thought he was flying on a direct path from Naples to Benghazi. The crew might have survived if they had known their actual location. After the crew bailed out, Lady Be Good continued flying south for 26 kilometers before coming to land, and there was also a chance that the crew might have found the aircraft's relatively intact wreckage, with its meager water and food supplies. After the Lady Be Good was identified, some parts of the plane were returned to the United States for evaluation while the rest of the wreckage remained. The U.S. Army Quartermaster Museum at Fort Lee, Virginia has a collection of personal items, such as watches, silk survival maps, and flight clothing from the crew members who were recovered. After some parts were salvaged from the Lady Be Good and technically evaluated, they were reused in other planes belonging to the American military. A C-54, which had several autos and transmitters from the Lady Be Good installed, had to throw cargo overboard to land safely because of propeller difficulties. Only a few traces of the plane washed ashore, and one of these was the armrest from the Lady Be Good. A stained glass window in the chapel at Wheelus Air Base commemorates Lady Be Good and her crew. King 9 Will Not Return is a 1960 episode of The Twilight Zone that told the story of a B-25 Mitchell crew member finding himself alone with the wreckage of his plane in the desert. In the episode, the marker on the grave of a member of the crew is dated the 5th of April 1943, the day on which Lady Be Good was lost. The wreckage of the King 9 shown in the production is a smaller and lighter B-25 medium bomber, and the newspaper picture in the episode is a photograph of the set, not the actual Lady Be Good B-24 heavy bomber. Sole Survivor is a 1970 made-for-TV movie about the ghost crew of the Home Run, a B-25 Mitchell medium bomber that crashed in the Libyan desert. As a B-25, rather than the larger and longer-range heavy bomber of the B-24 Liberator Lady Be Good, the plane in this film only made it 480 kilometers inland.